So hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm Swapnil Pandit. I'm representing Accenture India. Accenture as a globally is an IT company where we provide services in area of strategy, consulting, technology, outsourcing and digital for various industry clients. And it's not kind of focused purely on electricity, but we do serve other industries as well. I represent the smart grid practice within Accenture India. And I would like to kind of give you a brief overview of what lessons we have learned, what are the technology drivers, what are the business drivers that we have seen based on our experience in past 6 to 7 years working in this industry, and obviously working with the different utility companies that I think we have seen in this panel and the discussion earlier. So, giving you a market context, right? What drives the industry today, right? So these are the 6 factors. I'll not kind of drain them, but obviously the reliability is the key factor. Environment sustainability, one factor, right? Evolving technology. So that's why we are speaking about smart grid, and obviously the aspects of how the demand patterns are changing, how the electricity costs are rising, and then how the security and independence become more important, right? Because as you get into distributed modes of generation, as you get more intelligent, more digital, it becomes very imperative how do you manage your security both at the infrastructure, application, as well as the network level, right? So these are the market contexts that we look at whenever we look at any smart grid projects, and then that drives the trends in the industry, right? So if you go look at the trends that are happening, distributed generation, that's the kind of the buzzword today, where people talk about how do you look into solar panels, balancing the grid, right? Putting wind panels in the sea and then trying to kind of generate electricity. Obviously, there is a lot of deregulation happening, a lot of market competition, rising employee expectations. So obviously, it's a churn from what we are doing traditionally to what we'll be doing tomorrow. So the employees, the workforce, the field force, the employees of the utility company has to go through the entire change management process that I think we just covered in one of the topics earlier. And obviously, as we get into the smart grid space, the data will be increasing, right? So we are talking about smart meters, interval data, 30 minutes. I'm getting today 1 reading per month. Tomorrow I'll get 96 readings at a 15-minute interval per day. So you see the amount of data increasing, right? If you implement SCADA, I'm getting data at the sub-second level and how do I use that, how do I manage that, and how do I integrate that with my existing systems becomes a great challenge. So that's one area. Obviously, customer engagement, I think we covered the topic some time back. It's key because they are finally the end users, the beneficiaries of these aspects and how they get impacted. So areas like digital, getting more customer engagement by home area network, right? How to do power optimization also comes into play. The other aspect that we have also seen is the aging network, right? So traditionally, the network in the electricity industry has never changed in past 20 to 30 years. And then with this smart grid, suddenly we are talking about, okay, I'll put a new smart substation, I'll put SCADA, I'll put electronic devices, I'll put smart meters. So you have to replace the network as well, right, to some extent. So that's also the aspect that comes into play. And then obviously the implications that I have put across to it. So these are trends that we have seen. And obviously we look at these aspects whenever we get into the smart grid implementation. Now, how do we address these aspects, right? So there are 4, I would say, critical areas that drive this market. One is how do you improve energy efficiency? So how do you do that? I will put AMI, advanced metering infrastructure, demand response, these capabilities. As I put them, it will help the utility company to manage the energy efficiency aspects. Second is, if I have to become smart, I have to manage my operating cost, right? So how do I manage my transmission and distribution assets? How do I manage them effectively? Because as you get into the real time, as you get into more automation, it becomes very effective to manage and track these aspects, right? And how do you do that? Put asset management, put proactive, predictive maintenance instead of being reactive. So obviously you have to look at those technologies when you get into play. And then as you get more into the grid side, how do you get into resiliency or reliability of the network, right? So obviously, you have to improvise your field force, you have to improvise your workforce, you have to look at applications like putting GIS tracking, putting outage management systems, right? And how do you enable your workforce on a digital, right? Mobility-based workforce management, right? So how do you put those aspects, right? And that, last but not the least, obviously the utility company also has to manage their own revenues and returns on the capital investment, right? So smart grid involves huge investment, right? And at the same time, you have to ensure that the utility companies are also benefiting from it in terms of managing their revenues. So how do you do that is optimizing the grid, putting automation on the grid, and then managing security aspects on these aspects, right? So these are the things that typically utilities are looking for when they actually want to transition into smart grid. Now let me give you a brief kind of overview of what are the different architectural stages of a smart grid, right? You start from the bottom, we call it as a data generation. So your network is on the geography, you have the smart devices, you have the kind of the substation SCADA devices and the IEDs, intelligent enabled devices sitting there on the grid over the network. They are the data generators. The next stage is basically the transmitters. So we talk about the communication network, what to use, how to use, what are the dependencies there. And then once those transmission aspects are covered, then you come to the persistent layer. How do I manage the data? Which meter data management should I use? What tools do I use? Do I need a data warehouse? Do I need some kind of another application, right? So how do I persist that data is one aspect, right? And then the next layer is how do I use that data, transform that data into more sensible and a meaningful information. So that's where your analytics, visualization, command center kind of approach comes in. And then at the end of the day, you have to integrate the system with your existing enterprise applications, which is nothing but your customer engagement systems, your campaign management systems, or any of your existing operational systems. So the integration plays a critical role on how do you categorically go by these stages. And then these stages again drive your consumers, right? So how do you get them more social? How do you get them more mobile? Or how do you get them more digital, right? So it's not the consumers itself, it's also the field force, the workforce, and then how do I provide that information to the regulator? Do I need to really provide it through a web-based application or a kind of give it as a daily reports, or how do I enable my workforce more on the digital side, giving them mobile for work order management, meter deployment, meter installation. So those kind of aspects come into play. And then obviously, how these are managed, you have the suppliers to look at, you have the regulators to look at, you have the network operators to look at, and then you have the grid operators. So this is the ecosystem that plays the role into managing all this content, right? So it becomes very challenging who does what, at what stage the centralization happens, what stage the interoperability happens, what is the level of responsibility across these different players and how they are managed. Right, so that is one aspect when we look at when we want to implement any smart grid or a smart metering approach.
Just
right.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I'll just quickly these slides are there. So I'll just quickly go on the key business imperatives. So obviously, regulation, competition, interoperability that plays a key role, and obviously the demand and supply. How do you manage? So India is a major challenge on the demand and supply. How do you manage, balance it? And obviously you have consumers which are metered, non-metered, agricultural, non-agricultural, commercial. So how do you manage the entire ecosystem of that is one of the aspects. And then obviously the other aspects of what is the consumer base and the density, right? So I'll not get into that. I'll get more onto the implementation strategy. So regulatory requirements. How do you do meter deployment? That is a big challenge, right? You have to implement 20 million meters in next 3 years. How much workforce do I need? How many meters can I replace, right? The whole strategizing of that, whole planning of that becomes a challenge, right? How do you choose the right technology, right? What are the performance and scalability requirements? How much data volume I have to manage, right? And then the last but not least, interoperability. At what level? Do I do it at a communication level? Do I do it at a data level? or do I do it at the meter level, right? So these are the critical requirement implementation strategies that we have looked at, and then that varies client to client and geography to geography, right? Because regulated, deregulated, highly competitive, not competitive market plays a very key role in this aspect. So these are the key project drivers. I'll not get into it, but we focus purely on metering and the grid. So metering is more on the smart metering, grid is more on the grid side, network management and tools, and we obviously partner with the utility technology providers like GE, Oracle, Siemens to kind of implement these, right? So these are the drivers, project drivers that we have looked at, and then obviously how do we go about, right? So we need to define a long-term and a short-term strategy. So you have to have a strategy in mind, right? So like what Mr. Mehta from Reliance mentioned, right? They did an SGMM where I was actually also involved personally putting that. So they had a long-term strategy, short-term strategy, and then they took that approach towards the smart grid. And obviously piloting plays a key role. So everywhere in the world, we have seen at least pilot is the start point for any smart grid implementation, be it on the grid side, be it on the metering side.
Swapnil, if I could request you
Right?
to come to your conclusion.
So I'll just quickly give you 1 minute. I'll just quick.
Conclusion, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to talk about the interoperability aspect, just give you 2 examples what the geographies are doing. For example, this is the kind of the spread where we say the interoperability depends on the kind of the market we have. So for example, if I look at the UK market, right, they have done interoperability, or they have done the standardization at the communication level. So there is one single communication network managed by different suppliers, whereas if you look at a Nordics country, they have done centralization at the hub level. So they have a very deregulated market with many suppliers, many network operators. They did centralization at the data level. So these are the kind of the imperatives that you can play, and obviously you can look at this deck offline, but that's all I wanted to cover. If any questions, you can reach me out, or we can take it up after this session. Thank you.
Thank you.